Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lookout. I almost called it Outlook. Get ready. I'm tired. Get ready. I'm tired. It's already... some reason I can't. I just don't record earlier. I only record when it's so insanely late. Whatever. Playing Lookout. We're we're two bandits, two opposing gang bandits, not bandits, gang members, but we're like the unaccepted outcasts, because we're LGBTQIA community. And we meet each other, and we're so in love, and then we go to this little village, and everyone there is queer and in love. And then we go, let's kill that guy. Yeah, that's the other rundown you're getting. The midday sun hung harsh and bright in the sky as you made it back to the camp, you and your horse both tired from the ride. The current hideout of Curly Wolf and Co. was a ramshackle affair, nested in the depths of the rolling hills, hidden from the sight of any passerby. Riding slowly in, you climbed off your horse onto the baked ground. Ooh, sun-baked ground. Damn. Where my glasses at? I already got my Mimo on. I already can't fucking read. Oh, these are dirty. Well, I actually did wear them to work. Yeah, that makes sense. Put my mitts all over them. Better than my dude, I brought up my, so I have 2 pairs of glasses. I technically have 3. I have my ones from high school that I gave to my color guard director. And I said, hey, can you hold on to these? And she said, sure. And then she put them in her bag full of bolts and screws. And they got damaged like a week after I got them, which pissed me off so bad. And then I have these pair. They're very cute. They're like Mima gold glasses, but they're broken on the nose. Like the little spot that it sits on your nose fell off, so now it stabs my nose. And then I have clear pair, which I don't know where they are because they're clear and I can't see them. So... maybe I'll find them eventually. I doubt it. I'll just wait for my best friend to get them back and tell me where they are. Because she can see and I can't. Anyways, riding is, sun-baked ground and let it over to tie up with the others. The smell of food wafted, but you could see people cleaning up already. You'd missed lunch. As you made to leave the horse, a sudden thought struck you, and you doubled back to scramble about in your bag. Where was it? You hadn't left it behind, surely. The trickle of panic that had started to lead into your chest thankfully stopped as your fingers felt the soft brush of what you were looking for. You pulled the feather Joseph gave you out of the bag, holding it closely to yourself. You let out a short gasp of a sigh. Oi, tomboy! Your ears prick up, and you stood up straight at the sound of Curly Wolf shouting at you. You hastily tucked the feather away in your pocket. There's no way I would carry that on me. They're gonna take it. That's what you look like? Your hat's not on your... Oh, I guess mine is not either. Yeah, let me shut up. My bad. He got a knife! He's got a knife and a gun. Is he a bird? What is he? What am I looking at? Oh, a wolf. Yeah, you're right. You turned and made your way over to Curly, eyes down at the ground, avoiding the looks of the others. You know how things work around here, don't you, tomboy? Yeah. You grabbed a handful of your poncho, pulling it forward and stumbling. He? Oh, he did it. Before roughly shoving you back onto your feet. Before roughly shoving you off your feet onto your back. Got it. You learned how to take a fall by now. You didn't scramble, you just let yourself lay in the dirt for a moment, waiting. Get up. You pressed your hand to the ground and got up, not too fast and not too slow. The others still got a laugh out of his routine, but you were too bored of it to be embarrassed anymore. If you know how things work, then I shouldn't have to punish you for not doing what you were told. I did. I went and scouted the thing. You told me go and scout the thing, and I did it. I don't see what the issue is. When you come back, you come straight to me with what you found. You don't stand around playing with your little horsey. I have to get off the horse. Yeah, you know what? You can ride your fucking horse all the way down there and you can look at it yourself. You got eyes? You got eyes and legs? Go figure it out. Yes, boss. No, not yes, boss. You stink. Right. Come on, spit it out then. I found a town, a place called Clemency. It's got some gold from mines, but no bank or anything like that. What would you say now? If Curly knew Sheriff was the only person who even resembles a lawman, he'd just go barging right in. This lie was crucial. He couldn't catch you out. The place looked armed to the teeth, even so. All the townsfolk had some way of defending themselves. No gun laws like other places. Well, shit, I was hoping it would be a breeze. We need an easy win right now. I found out from the I don't really know why we had to change it. The sheriff, that the place is going to be empty soon. You were focused on a hill in the distance, not daring to look directly at him. Still, on the edge of your vision, you could see Curly's eyes narrowed, staring at your face, studying it. How come? Overheard that they're retrieving supplies for the town every so often, and the next caravan drive is in 3 days. Whole town is going to be going. It'll be empty and unguarded. The suspicion in Curly's eyes melted into a smugness, and a grin split his face from ear to ear. Ah, damn, now that's an easy win. He turned his face away from you, shouting into the air of the camp. Boys, 3 days from now, we're gonna be rich. Dude, if I could summon a Dutch Vanderland voice from me, I would. Not only can I not do that, I am far too tired to even try. And you can't hear it, but I can. My voice sounds weird. Yes, sir. He walked away around the camp, kept talking, hyping it up, riling everyone up for what was to come. You didn't need to listen anymore. Your job was done for now. You went back to being invisible, staying out of the way. The usual. Hey, this is where we started. This is the, not where we started, but it's the starting shot. That night, the hills were full of the sound of howling, cheering, drunken songs as the Curly Wolf gang prematurely celebrated their victory. This was a bigger deal than you'd maybe anticipated. In any case, your goal was the same, and they didn't know what was coming. Curly Wolf didn't know what was coming. He was the cockiest you'd ever seen him. The days after were a blur. If you weren't needed to help with some menial work somewhere in the camp, you were just sleeping in your tent, trying to avoid the blazing heat, keeping out of everyone's way, like you always did. Waiting, just like everyone else, for the day you'd ride out. And see my husband! My husband? On the night before you were due to leave, you snuck out of your tent, out to where no one would see you. Away from the camp, the sounds of it echoing lightly through the air, you clambered halfway down the hill and sat. You don't do this often. Who knew when someone might come to your tent, needing to drag you away for something? You couldn't risk it often, being unfindable, but you thought it important enough to do tonight. To come out here and breathe in the cool night air, to stare into the sky across the horizon at the blankets of stars in the sky, trying to pinpoint constellations you were told about when you were much younger. You wonder if Joseph knew any. You didn't think about it at the time. The feather was in your pocket still, the safest place you could think to keep it. At night, when the lights were out and the tent was filled with the sounds of someone snoring, you hold it in your hand, flicking through it with the claw of your thumb, feeling the smoothness against your fingers for just a bit, before you put it back. It helped you get to sleep. Again, now, while you were alone sitting under the stars, you pulled it out of your pocket, fiddling with it in your hand, feeling it tickle the pads of your palm. Your mind wanted to wander, to think of important things, to think of all the ways tomorrow could go wrong, to think about what might happen to you both. You didn't let it. The feather helped too. For once, you just let yourself be calm. You'll see him tomorrow. Until then, worrying wouldn't do you any good. You imagined that was the kind of thing he'd say to you, if he was here, sitting next to you. The imagined weight of his head on your shoulder, the thought of his warm that word that always eludes me, sidled up next to you. I probably pronounced it differently the last time I said it. All the things you wouldn't feel again if you lost him. You'll see him tomorrow. Yeah! It's the morning. You're awake early. You didn't sleep much anyway, as much as you tried to. The sun was as bright as always, coming through the yellowed fabric of the tent. You laid awake, waiting for the others to get up, waiting for Curly Wolf. He'd start rallying the guys together for a ride to Clemency soon enough. He needed to make sure you were there. The minutes ticked by and you heard people get up, the camp coming to life once more with the sounds of work and talk. You got up and got yourself ready, sitting on the bedroll after and waiting more. Then the voice of Curly Wolf. "All right, boys, gather round. We're heading to the town of Clemency this morning." Clemency? Dude, I think I'm reading it wrong. I don't even know. "I need 10 or so men with me to haul valuables, and it's around half a day's ride from here. Who's coming to get our gold?" You heard all this as you were leaving your tent, making your way to the small crowd of canines. Instantly there were people joining, eager to prove themselves and get their hands on real gold. 1, 2, 3 already. You suddenly pushed your way through the crowd, trying to reach the front. Pushed out the edge of the crowd by the huddling bodies, you found yourself standing in front of Curly. He stared at you even as he clapped his hands and shoulders of the other guys walking past, joining the excitable group. "What are you standing there for, tomboy? We don't need any little pups to help shift the goods. You need to be on this crew." You couldn't talk back to him, though. You didn't know what to say. What could you say? You just kept standing there. "You think you're going to be any help with this scrawny stick?" He grabbed your arm, raising it up and down, shaking it by the wrist. Every inch of you was screaming to snatch your arm from his hand, but you knew what would happen if you did. He threw your arm back at you, making you stumble a little. "Go make yourself useful someplace else. Someplace else. I only need real men for this trip." You had to say something. You had to. You had to be there. You'll need a lookout. He was looking at the assembled group, doing a quick head count. "All right, boys, that's 10. Be ready to move out in 5 minutes. He didn't seem to hear you. Your words were quiet, whispered. You tried again. You'll need a lookout, Curly." His ears twitched. He still didn't turn to face you. "I heard you the first time. Stop yapping at me about bullshit. We don't know when the townsfolk will be back. It'll be bad if they come back while you're there, and even worse if there's no one keeping an eye out. Y'all have your hands full already." You hear him sigh, and a little growl rose in his throat before it subsided into nothing. "Fine then, tomboy. If you're that eager to come, I suppose I'll have to let you. You're riding in the wagon. You don't need a horse." "No, you didn't get that privilege when other people needed them, you supposed." The wagon was fine by you. You knew it was a punishment of kinds, that you'd be riding in it on the way back, too, along with everything else. Boxes and sacks and supplies and whatnot, all bumping about, hoping none of them fall over and hit you. Cramped space with nowhere to sit or lie, just standing for hours, waiting for it to stop. Get a move on. You followed after Curly to get ready. Of course, what Curly didn't know was that you weren't going to be coming back here. Neither of you were. "Hey, we're gonna kill that guy. That's that guy I said we were gonna kill. And some other guy that I haven't seen yet." From where you sat, slumped in the corner of the wagon, the wind whistled through the gaps in the canvas next to your head. The edges flap, the wind ruffling your clothes and your fur, drying your nose as you sit with your knees up. The wagon rocks and bumps as it's dragged by the horse through the desert, and in this corner is the only place you feel safe enough to stay. You could at least keep yourself steady as it tried to knock you about, clinging onto the wooden frame. Looking towards the entrance of the wagon, where the covering split down the middle, you couldn't see much. Or rather, what you could see were great clouds of dust, billowing from the wheels and into the dry air. As uncomfortable as the wagon was, at least it provided you shelter from the sun, unlike riding on horseback. The winds coursing past your ears were welcome too, cooling your head that was swimming with thoughts. You knew you were close to Clemency now. The entourage had been traveling long enough. As you got closer and closer, the minutes stretched on. You felt sick to your stomach, less so butterflies and more like hornets. This was going to be it. This is what you'd been waiting for. Not just days, but years, really. A chance like this. All anxieties and concerns you'd pushed down last night were rushing back up like geysers. What if Joseph wasn't there? What if his gang wasn't there? What if you leached Clemency and Curly realizes you were lying? What if you couldn't kill them both? Or what if they demolished the town and the sheriff came back to find nothing left? To find you broken your promise? What if you were killed quickly or slowly? You'd seen Curly kill traitors before. The simple fear of dying took a hold of your heart, the chill of the Reaper's shadow. No, this wasn't going to be it. This isn't all there was going to be. You'd see him again soon. You'd do what you had to, together. This wasn't going to be it. There would be more after. It was hard for you to imagine, but you knew it had to be true. There would be days after today. You wanted to see them. And if you die, at least it was for a reason. You sure as hell weren't going to go out without a fight. This was a risk you'd always be willing to take. You and Joseph would take it together, and you were going to see it through. You steeled your resolve, locking the furnace of your heart so that no one may put it out. The rumble of the wagon started to slow. The rocking of back and forth became gentler and gentler until everything came to a stop with a small lurch. The constant motion that had been in your body was gone all of a sudden. Everything seemed impossibly still. Like when the many conversations in a bar all died down suddenly, leaving it quiet in a strange moment. You heard the thud of Curly jumping off his horse, and crawled to the floor of the wagon to the front. Curly came and opened the low wooden door, letting you slide out of the wagon and jump out. The light of the late morning sun was blinding, and you held your arm over your brow to shelter your eyes. As your eyes adjusted, the bright desert became clearer, hazy rock formations in the distance becoming familiar. Walking around the wagon, you saw the shapes of buildings that set your teeth on edge. The town of Clemency. Here we are, boys. What a shithole. No one here, at least. We'll take what we're here for and leave. Sharpish? Huh. Won't know what hit him. Ain't that right, tomboy? He slapped you hard in the back. There was an anticipation in the air amongst yourselves. This was a place that they had been waiting for. You'd been waiting for it too, but the anticipation was not of eagerness. Even in your brief visit here, and many things had happened. In some way, being back to Clemency was comforting. Despite that, you couldn't ignore the chill in your veins at the prospect of what will come next. There was no backing out now. It felt like those few times in the past when the fuse on the stick of dynamite had been lit, and you were still holding it. There was only going to be a few moments more until that spark reached the end of the wick. Yeah, it was that other guy. I hear he wants to beat the hell out of this guy. Wow, look, 1, 2, 3. I guess they're like a wolf pack, like dog, bark like dogs. They did say canine earlier, didn't they? They did say canine. Yeah, for some reason I thought they said like carnivore or something like that, like person that eats meat, not like dog. Well, that makes way more sense. Guys, give me some slack. I'm tired. I'm so eepy. Curly started walking to the town, and you followed suit with everyone else, staying close behind him. You know what's crazy about that, though? I literally was thinking, like, 30 minutes before I started recording, I was like, I should start streaming. One of my friends was on, I don't know what the app's called, the one where you, like, bid shit for, like, your merch. And, I was watching her stream, and I was like, having a little community like that looks like so much fun. And I was like, generally, like, my responding to your guys' comments is, like, delayed by a few days. Because, like, I record everything on... What's today? Is today Saturday? Saturday. I record everything on Saturday. Sunday, I'm in my bed all day pretending that I am a, like, pillow. I'm sleeping. I'm hibernating. Monday is also a day that I rest a lot. And then I don't... I don't even touch my computer. I don't touch my computer Tuesday through for like Friday unless I really didn't record. So that's like a few days where I just miss everything completely. But I was literally like, what if I stream? Then I get to interact with everyone. And then I was like, you don't stream because you get nervous interacting with people in real time. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Anyways, so it's something I'm throwing around. I'm like, I could stream. And then I was like, but you get scared talking to people. I get nervous. That's really why I record and I don't stream. Is I get really like nervous about when I'm like sitting by myself. Number one, I talk to myself all the time anyways. But it's literally just like talking to a friend, but I have the like, what's it called? The freedom to just speak, and then, you know, it's like you're with me, you're here with me, and I'm talking to you, even though it's like way before. But when I'm streaming, like you're there, and I'm scared. I've always said if I get more interaction on my videos, like in comments and like stuff like that, that I would end up streaming at some point, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, let me lock in. Curly started walking into the town, and you followed suit with everyone else, staying close behind him. Clancy was dead quiet, not a single soul in sight, just like Sheriff said it would be. He studied the town as you walked down the main street, peering through the windows, drawing up plans in his head. Every building you walked past was filled you with a little more fear. You were still waiting for something to happen, for anyone else to appear. Soon enough, Curly would want to get started for real and ask where the gold was supposed to be. Then, at the end of the street, you saw what you were waiting for, who you were waiting for. A hazy, clumped group of guys making their way up onto the main road of the street from the other side of town. As it got closer, it became clearer. Oh! The figure of a tall and slender bird with many others in tow straggling behind him, much like you behind Curly. Curly stopped as he spotted the group too, staring them down. I like this stance. That's so funny. Now who in the hell is that in my town? He started walking again with purpose and menace as they quickened their pace and turned towards you. You felt your heart beating in your chest now, reaching up to your throat, blood rushing, adrenaline starting to build in you. They were really here, and you could see that Curly was not happy about it. Both sides slowed as they came closer to each other, coming to a stop halfway down the street, a few dozen paces between them. Not too close, not too far. You saw Black Vulture much more clearly now, and he was looking with intrigue at Curly. You know what? Some reason, his name is Black Vulture. I just didn't process that he was probably a vulture. Kind of looks like a dodo, but I don't know what a vulture looks like. So if a vulture looks akin to a dodo, then he's perfect. But again, I don't know anything about birds. You looked past him, though, desperately searching the small crowd of people following in his wake, until you saw the one you'd been waiting for, Joseph, stony-faced and stern, blending in with his compatriots. It was almost funny to compare to the laid-back, jovial man you'd gotten to know. After a few moments longer of staring each other down, Black Vulture spoke. Well, well, is that who I think it is? The infamous Curly Wolf. What's it to you? And what are you doing in my town? Well, I'd imagine we're both here for much the same reason. I've heard tales of your exploits. Can't say the same. Who are you? Damn. I'm Black Vulture, gentleman outlaw of the... Doesn't ring a bell. The feathers of okay. Neck clearly ruffled at Curly's rebuttal, but he waved it off. More fool you, I say. You're here for the gold, then? Yes, but... And how strange it is that we might run into each other like this. I'm willing to bet you're not a sharing man. Like I said, this is Curly Wolf's property now, so you best go on and fly away. No, I don't think we will be, Curly. I think it would be a shame for so much gold to be wasted on scum like you. Should keep that highfalutin beak of yours shut unless you want that barrel of a gun inside it. Hey, let us see then, Curly Wolf. To the victor goes the spoils, and I intend to spill that tiny brain of yours across the dirt. Damn! Them's fighting words, buddy. Fine by me. Don't mean to much of a brain to shoot you. This wasn't how you wanted things to go, and Joseph, you and Joseph were still in the thick of it, facing each other. You thought you'd be out of the fight. The air was still, hands came to hover over the guns, every pair of eyes trained on the opposing side, waiting. In a standoff like this, it was a test of the boss's mettle, their mental fortitude. How long would anyone last before pulling the trigger? Trying to psych each other out. Being the first to take the shot wasn't always the best call, but having to react to that first shot could be worse. It was a test of loyalty, too. For everyone following them, your underlings couldn't step out of line or take the shot themselves. To break rank early would be a betrayal, but when the bullets went flying, it was unpredictable. Staying meant to risk yourself. You knew Curly was a good shot. He had the upper hand here. But you were reminded of something Joseph told you. Black Vulture wasn't the shootist. He had someone else for that. He could brag, but he wasn't the real one. You thought about whether Curly should know. Oh. Get out of here. No. Keep quiet. No, it was better if Curly didn't know about the shootist. As dangerous it was to leave someone like that hanging around during a fight, it was more of a danger to him. The seconds dragged on. It felt as though your very breath may tip the scales, chest heavy from breathing the air of people who wanted to kill you. There was a safety in numbers, in the crowd. Even so, you found yourself for the first time thinking about running. Never before have you considered it. This time was different, of course. There wasn't going to be a next time. Running would tip the scales for sure, but you couldn't know in whose favor. Play it safe with the gang, or run and let all hell break loose? Great question. I don't know if we'll live, is my only fear. Because running also means that we're a target, you know what I mean? But we don't plan on staying with him anyways. So maybe we should run. Run. You had to run. Staying wasn't worth the risk of getting shot. Not here. Not this time. Across the impossibly long feeling of the gap between Curly Wolf and Black Vulture gangs, you looked at Joseph, catching his attention. He nodded once at him, and he nodded back, understanding. If one ran, you both ran together. To your right side, you spied a gap, an alley, between two buildings near you. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get through it. I don't know if that's gonna work, though. Heartbeat pounding like a drum in your chest, you stepped to your feet, steady in the dirt. You ran out from behind Curly as fast as you could, letting the momentum of your legs pounding the ground carry you. You were down the alley and out of the Black Vulture's sight, almost before anyone could react. Looking back, you saw Curly's expression vacillate? I don't know. Between a moment of surprised anger and then a snarl before landing on gritted teeth. Curly tried with a quick practice motion to reach for his gun, but it was too late. A shot rang out and a sharp whiz in the air, cut short by a wet thud and Curly flinching hard. That was all you saw before he took off. As did everyone else in the town, it seems. You heard the scuffle of many shoes. Curly was the most dangerous person there right now, even when hurt, so you were glad to be making distance from him. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best choice. But if it's, that or, what's the word? Standing there dying, I suppose that's better. As you ran through the houses that lined the main street, many gunshots started to fill the air, loud cracks that echoed down the alleyways. He kept running through the maze of houses as far away as he could get, slowing down as he reached the last of them. These houses led to a hill that sloped into the rest of town. Sloped. Not slopped. Very different word. You stopped in the shade and leaned against one of their wooden walls, panting. The fight continued, and you listened. It didn't seem to be moving away from the street much. You'd be safe elsewhere in town. You need to find Joseph now. That's all you focused on. He'd be safer to go together. He ran when you did as well. You slid your gun from its holster, the grip of the metal, a small comfort in your hand. Hopefully you can find him. If you followed the curve of the ledge along... If you followed the curve of this ledge along, you'd reach the other end of the street where the black and Co. were. Okay, fire. Joseph can't have gone far. I need a little sip. Bro needs to wet the whistle because I think I'm dying. You started walking carefully, listening and looking at each alley before crossing, steadily making your way past the houses. It wasn't long before you heard someone near you, shouting, familiar. You heard the scuffle of feet in the dust before two figures burst out from behind the house, one chasing the other. It was Black and Joseph. Black hot on his heels, and you saw him grab the back of Joseph's shirt as he tried to run away. He kept running and crashing into Joseph, sending them both tumbling down the rocky incline, kicking up clouds of dust as they did. You ran over to the edge to where they fell, watching for a moment as they tried to get a hold of each other in the dirt. Clothes stained with brown patches of desert dust, their guns tossed and laying discarded near them. Joseph grabbed at Black, punching his side. You hastily holstered your gun and slid down the hill towards them, stumbling as you hit the bottom. This is kind of a mess. I don't know if we did something good or not. You carried the momentum of your stumble into a run, and then swing your legs towards Black, foot connecting hard with his stomach. Damn, get fucked. He let out a grunt and a retch, clutching his stomach, giving Joseph the chance to throw him off. Joseph rolled away on his arms and knees, standing up quickly. Black tried to get up, too, despite still being winded, but Joseph easily kicked him down onto his back with one foot to his chest. Hey, kill that guy. Hello? Oh. Joseph shuffled over to you, and you both stood over Black, who slowly propped himself up on his hands, leaning back and looking at you. He eyed you over, catching his breath back. Yeah. Trying to mask the fear in his eyes with a smug smile that spread across his face. Well now, who's your little friend, Joseph? I'm Kay, another lookout. I'm just gonna tell him, huh? So you're in league with this treacherous scumbag then? What a twist! You're very much going to regret this, Joseph, when this is all over. Punishing people is so distasteful, but sometimes it must be done. Sorry, Black, but you ain't gonna get the chance. This is the end of the line. Black's smile softened a little at Joseph's words, either not having listened or simply not believing him. Joseph, don't be foolish. Help me up and I won't punish you too harshly, and then we can forget all about this nasty business. Your friend can even join us if you'd like. Let's go take care of Curly and then we can search for that gold. You saw Joseph waver for a moment, the offer ticking over in his mind. His breath hitched for a moment, stealing the resolve of his promises. You really don't listen, do you? I'm gonna kill you, Black, for everything you've done. Black scoffed, brow nodding in anger and indignation. For everything I've done, you ungrateful whelp. I'll tell you what I've done. I've been a gentleman, and I've shown you nothing but kindness ever since you joined me. Yeah, I doubt that. I thought my cat moved, but she's sleeping. She's being so peaceful. And a little baby. Sorry, I was reading my text from my phone. I fed you, monitored you, brought you under my wing, and this is how you repay me? By threatening to kill me? I can't tell if you're lying to my face, or really just that delusional. You don't care about me. You don't care about any of us. You just like having a posse that'll talk you up in saloons and do all the work for you. A city slicker playing cowboy for the sheer hell of it. Maybe you can fool other folks, but none of us ever bought all this gentleman shit for a second. Black's face was pure contempt. The face of someone who was used to always being told what he wanted to hear. You unholster your gun, handing it to Joseph on top of your palm. He took it, holding it by his side and cocking the hammer. Dude, I don't know what any of these words are. How absolutely dare you? You have no idea what I've sacrificed. I gave up my life in the lap of luxury to rough it out here in the desert with people like you. To live the life I was told stories about. I made a name for myself. Black Vulture, gentleman, outlaw of the West. You're not a gentleman. You didn't do anything. Your gang made your name for you. Joseph made your name for you. He's more of a gentleman than you'll ever be. Black's brows furrowed, and his eyes squinted at you, filled with rage of a man who was never told no. The wind died down for a moment. Everything was impossibly still. Not a movement, not a sound. The whole world seeming to take pause, waiting. Kill that guy! The stillness was broken as Black's body twitched, and he threw himself towards the gun, scrambling in the dust to try to grab it. Oh, jump scare. Okay, jump scare. I was like, what happened? I was like, did we die? Are we dead now? Did he kill me? Joseph shot at him, missing, and then shot again. As Black just touched his gun, the bullet passing through his head with a spray of blood. Black's frantic body fell limp, settling. A few moments passed, the sand under his head becoming stained dark brown. Joseph turned to you. He was trembling, his hands fluttering. He grabbed the gun by the barrel and gave it back to you. You took it and holstered it again quickly, stepping closer to put your arm around him. You're safe now, princess. He was warm. And as he put his arm around you too, you felt every shake and tremble of his head on your shoulder, arm tight across his back. Hey, is that other guy dead? I'm just asking. Like, I love the Slay Tender moment. Is he dead still, or do I have to worry about him? You're all right. You're all right. Are you hurt? No, I'm just fine. Few bumps and bruises is all. I'm scared. Where's that other guy? He pulled back, gently grabbing you by the shoulders, eyes meeting. Are you all right? What happened? Where's Curly Wolf? Yeah, I'm not hurt. I don't know where he is. I ran off before he could follow me. I think he got hit. I would say the same, but he got shot by Black Shootist. They both tailed after me, and I ran too. After I ran too. I put the Shootist down with my shotgun, but Black was right on my behind. That was just before you found me. Right. I think we should get to the saloon. Safest place in town I can think of. We can keep a lookout for Curly. Sounds like the fight's died down too. You think we can sneak across the street? You nodded. Joseph picked up his shotgun, and you both climbed back up the short hill, cautiously approaching the street. I don't trust this. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna get shot. Hey! You both? Okay. This is that word that I can't figure out how to say. And I think I've looked it up before. Because I was like, I don't know how to say that. Sorry, get ready. I'm gonna be yawning a lot. Get ready. Literally, okay, before last night, I had gotten... Oh, yeah, how do you say that?
Sidle.
Sidle? So you both sidled up against the wall before an alley. Oh. Staying out of sight, looking and waiting to make sure it was clear. You saw and heard no one, not from the street, and if you cut through here, you could get to the saloon quickly. Joseph thought it was a safe bet too, and nodded at you to go. You left the cover of the buildings, walking close to each other. As you round the corner, you walk past the thin side door of a house. You take no note of it, or of it being slightly ajar. It's over. We're dying. Not until you hear the creak of its hinges as it opens more. Not until you feel the hot, piercing pain in your side. I'm allergic to pain. And the vice-like grip of the claw hand on your shoulder, pulling you into the knife. Bruh! You cried out at the sharp metal invading your flesh, flailing to try and grab onto Joseph, who snapped around to look your way. Oh. Enveloped in a shadow of the dark house against the midday sun, Curly Wolf crouched in the doorway, dragging you down. Without a second thought, Joseph bounded towards you both, leaping past you to bodily tackle Curly. This is Curly? I don't remember what that bitch looks like. You felt the relief and searing emptiness of the knife slicing its way out of your body. The flesh below your ribcage staining your shirt. That's a bad injury. You fell to the ground, any twist of your body pulling at the new injury with new pains. Joseph had pushed Curly to the ground and was rightly wary of the knife, but his hesitation gave Curly too much of an opening. Attacking without a thought, like the animal he was, he swung the knife at Joseph, and Joseph recoiled out of the doorway with a cry. He clutched at his eye and fell next to you and sat straight up, taking deep, tearful breaths, backing up further. You were on your hands and knees and stood up more, hand scrambling against your nearest wall to climb to your feet. You reached for Joseph's hand, and he eagerly grabbed you by the wrists, both tightly holding on to you, as he got up and started running away with you. Traitor, you can keep running, but I'll kill you. There's nowhere you can hide in this town. You hunched over slightly as you ran, trying not to put any stress on the cut on your side. It didn't seem to be too deep, but it hurt like hell. It's over. Pack it up. You ran through the many houses until you reached the main street, pedaling forward to the saloon, not stopping for anything. The street was quiet. Glancing down at it, you saw the shapes of people tucked into doorways and bent behind buildings and fence posts, still waiting for someone else to make a move. As you ran to the saloon with Joseph in tow, you both of you breathing ragged and your feet stumbling, you tried to not to make too much noise. Someone, yeah, you know what? Just cancel it. Run it back. Run it back. What do you mean? So is this me messing up, or is this what's supposed to happen? Leaping up the short stairs of the porch, you charged into the doors, barreling into the dim interior. Oh, we back. They got that drink. She's so funny. You turn around and slam the door shut, giving yourself a moment to breathe with your head down and flat against the wood. Hand flat against the wood. You're bleeding. No shit. And the sky's blue. You turned to Joseph, getting closer to him. His stony expression was fixated on your side, where blood continued to soak through. Ooh. So are you. You reached up. I'm gonna sneeze again. Hold on. I'm dying. You reached up to his hand on his face and took it away slowly, his arm resisting for a moment before relenting, letting you look. The feathers on his right eye were stained and matted with blood. Blood seeped from a red slit that traced from his cheek up past his eyebrow. His eye was closed, and before you could check any further, he clasped your hand in both of his. I'm alright. Okay, don't worry about it. We've got a fight on our hands still. He gave his best confident smile and a wink with his good eye, the reassurance somewhat lessened by the red stain down half of his face. Did I fuck up? Like, am I in danger? Was this the wrong choice? Alright, yeah, you're right. You should go and hide somewhere. He's gonna come looking for us. Joseph gave you your hand one last tight squeeze before looking around and crouching over to the bar. Hiding at the end, out of sight. He crouched down too, walking low to the window, peeking over it to see what was happening outside. As if on cue, Curly stumbled out of the alley you'd just come from, wildly searching, his head swinging back and forth. A growling below bellow. Help me! Help me! No! I can't do it. Oh my god. Let me live! I just want to read! A growling bellow broke the silence of the street as he shouted into the air. Come out, boys! We've got a traitor in our midst! Start searching! What a loser. It was hard to see from where you were, but a few of your fellow gang members crawled out from the woodwork. The Black Vulture gang had been seemingly taken care of already, save for Joseph and the one other bird who sprang out from the doorway. You saw him start running down the street towards the entrance of the town, his only panicked thought to try and get out with his life. Oh god damn, that scared the shit out of me. Curly pulled his revolver and aimed a single shot that whizzed down the street. and felled the running bird. He hit the dirt like a sandbag and lay there unmoving. Damn, he's a good shot. I mean, I guess they told me that, but I didn't believe him. Although he didn't see you, Curly turned to the saloon afterwards, and your eyes saw his. You jerked back from the window, head against the wall, and covered your mouth to stop the yelp you'd been about to let out. Perhaps it was just the stress and the sheer animosity of the situation, but you swear those eyes made you feel like they were already half dead. You heard Curly make a hacking cough before calling out again. Spread out and search around. They couldn't have gone far. It's a tomboy and some other bird. He peeked out over the windowsill again. A small group of canines left to listen to Curly disperse, walking with their guns drawn. A couple started heading your way towards the saloon. This was bad. This was really bad. Really bad. Oh, really, really bad. They couldn't find you here. Not now. Your eyes searched around the saloon for another way out. Stop! Stop! Before they could reach the porch, however, the shots rang out in the street once again. You couldn't tell where they were coming from, and seemingly neither could the others. There was a panic as the people took cover. After a few moments, you saw someone fire shots back, shooting at the rooftop somewhere. Some stragglers from Blacks must have gotten on the top of the saloon at some point, and were now raining fire upon the streets. Curly had taken cover too. He wasn't stupid enough to stand out in the open still. But, as you looked around, your eyes caught upon his. This time, the eyes caught yours too. You saw the flicker of recognition at what must be beady eyes poking out from the darkness of the saloon. Ooh. Stop! Did I get it? Stop it! I'm scared! Without hesitation, he leveled the gun towards the window and shot. A loud crack of the wooden wall made you recoil to the floor. He'd missed, but now he knew where you were hiding. There was no need to look out the window again to know he was coming, undoubtedly striding across the street towards his place. He didn't have time to waste either. To make sure, scurrying in a crouch past the door, with the bared flesh on your side, screaming. You hopped to the first couple of steps of the stairs to the upper floor, and crouched by the door, waiting. Gun drawn and mouth dry, your mind was ticking a million times a second, like an anxious metronome, waiting the short moments so long. You heard him now, the cadence of footsteps you knew well, ones that kept you wary, ready, and still. The thumping of wood stopped at the door. Slowly, the door on your side started to open, sunlight pouring into the saloon, and the gunshots cracking in the air outside so slightly clearer. You didn't dare move, feet planted on the stairs, your arm held so close to you, and your gun pointed just past the door. As you listened and watched, focused on the door and the figure behind it, you didn't expect the loud shot that came from behind it. The bullet lodged itself on the floorboards and the other at the side of the room, but the noise is what broke your focus. You couldn't react in time to Curly's hand sharply reaching around the door to grab your gun, roughly yanking it from your hand. Why the fuck am I even trying, bruh? Kill this guy! Kill him! Kill him! Can we lock in, please? You didn't hold on to it for fear of breaking a finger, and Curly stepped out from behind the door with your gun held by the barrel. His own gun was pointed your way, arms stretched out, and the revolver so close you could see the pitch black of the inside of the barrel. He chucked your gun away into the room, eyes still trained on you. It clattered against the floor and slid out of sight. Your heart now felt like it was trying to be out of you and disappear into the desert, like your chest would burst. See, the only good thing about him tossing the gun into the middle of the room is Joseph's in here, so there's a good chance that, and Joseph is significantly less injured than we are. Will it be kind of jarring to shoot someone with a missing eye? Yes, that will be difficult for sure, but at least he's not stabbed in the side. You know what I mean? The rhythm of it pumping was loud in your ears, relentless inside you, as if you'd been sprinting for hours. Curly took a step towards you, and you tried to take a step back of your own, only to fall over onto the stairs, your back colliding with the edges. Ow. He took another step, and another. gun still pointed out towards you as far as he could, and you clambered backwards up the steps. Your hands scraped and scratched the wood, and your legs bumped against the stairs as you tried to get away on your back. Curly just kept looking at you, all the while, savoring the moment, his face a smile of unmatched malice. Ooh, yeah, look at his face. Ooh, really? Teeth bared and eyes wild. Isn't this just the turnabout, huh? The pathetic yellow belly of the gang decides to stick up for themselves for once. Only to end up at my feet once again. Quite ironic, don't you think? He let out a short bark of a laugh. I never fucking liked you. Not sure why I even kept you around. You're stupid, but I guess you have enough of a brain rattling around in there to know I didn't like you. In the end, this is for the best. For the both of us. Putting a bullet in your skull will put my mind at ease with what to do with you, finally. If I'd killed you before now, might have put down morale, killing a pathetic sap that did no harm. I was just looking for an excuse all this time, wasn't I? He cocked the hammer of his gun with his thumb, a theatric to strike fear into you. His hand was shaking ever so slightly, swaying. Despite playing it cool, you could tell it was an effort for him to pull it back, the click of the chamber a relief in his arm. Sorry, hold on. Sorry. He saw now where he'd been shot, just next to his gun arm, a small red hole below his collarbone. Yikes. And don't think I've forgotten about the bird you ran in here with. Once I've taken care of you, they'll be next. The panic in your heart coalesced. No, don't know how to say that. Looking it up. I've never seen that. I've seen that word, but I don't know how to say it. Coalescent? Coalescence? Yeah, how do you say that?
Coalesce.
How do you say ED? To unite. Coalesced? I did not know how to say it. Liar! The panic in your heart coalesced as he spoke. You thought about Joseph, your breath unsettled in your lungs for the next moment. In that moment, you twisted your body and kicked. Your legs swung out through the air and your foot collided with Curly's hand. The momentum of the kick through his arm, stretching out on his injury, sprang the gun from his grasp. Yeah, get fucked, nerd. His arm bent inwards and your foot carried the gun away over the banister to bounce and clatter against the floor. You didn't hesitate to scramble around on your front and start trying to run up the stairs, Curly still reeling in his anger what just happened. A few clambering steps on your hand and knees were all you made before you were jerked back, your leg held aloft and dragging you. You fell onto the stairs, trying to claw at the landing you just reached. Slipping as you were dragged, you collapsed and bashed your chin on a step, teeth clattering together in your skull. Dude, fuck this guy. Curly had a firm grip on your ankle, and the panic in your heart once again was spreading through your body like blood clouding water. Your ears twitched at the familiar sound. The sound of Curly's knife being pulled from its sheath. No, this wasn't how you were gonna die, scrambling around on the stairs of a saloon, being pulled up by the leg for a butchering like a piece of wild game. He wasn't unbeatable. He wasn't unkillable. You saw it. He bled, just like any other mortal man. He hurt just the same as you. You hurt even more than him, every day, for years. Even now, the tear of flesh next to your ribs being pulled on as you clung to the stairs. Pushing off the stairs, you balled your hands into a fist and twisted your body, carrying the momentum into your arm and thrusting forward. You focused your eyes on Curly's face and heard a crack as your fist connected with the end of his snout, knuckles hitting bone. Ha! Get fucked. Again, you fell into the stairs as Curly cried out, letting go of your leg to clutch at his nose. You weren't even sure if he was hurt more by his bleeding nose or simply his pride for being caught off guard like that, but it was enough. Can we kill that guy? In a few moments, he had reeled back. You had scrambled up the stairs again, making onto the landing on the first floor. Running wasn't so easy, with the cut in your side and your banged-up legs after falling onto the stairs. Even so, you moved as fast as you could, looking for something to help. Some way out on this floor. You barely had time to think about your next move before you heard footsteps bound up the stairs behind you and across the landing. Curly was upon you again, and you turned yourself, arm up, trying to shield against him as he flew into you, tackling you to the ground. Can I get away from this man for, longer than a second? His full weight hit you like a stampeding horse, your body slamming into the wooden floor and knocking the wind out of you. Damn, concussion, stabbed, my legs are broken, fuck, what else are we adding? Your head bounced up, sorry, let me read it when I'm not yawning. Let me not be disgusting. Your head bounced off the floor as you fell hard, thankful for the rug underneath that had softened the blow a little. On your back, your vision swam for a few moments, coming to. You see the ceiling, and the snarling, bloodied face of Curly Wolf above you. Oh, damn, he's trying to kill me. That's crazy. Guys, I think he's trying to kill us. I don't mean to be a hater, but I think he's trying to kill us. He pushed himself up to straddle you, kneeling either side, pinning you down before you could think to wriggle away. You still pushed up and tried to get away, but it quickly became apparent to be fruitless as Curly started to chuckle with a growl. Where was this fight all this time, huh? This fire and attitude? Anyone would think you had grown a spine, finally. Might have been useful if you'd been like this more often. Not that it would have changed your fate now. Traitors don't get any special treatment, no matter how good they've been. Have to set an example. You know that, don't you? Curly raised his hand with a knife in it, twisting it in his palm to the point downwards and grasping tighter. Say your fucking prayers, kid. He raised the knife level with his shoulder, aiming at your chest, and plunged downward. No thoughts could ever pass through your head before your arm shot out, grabbing at the knife. Ooh. Your hand slipped past it and caught onto his fist, locking your arm straight, desperately keeping. Where that guy at? You're just letting this fool get me? I am more hurt than he is. Okay, I'm gonna be a bitch for a second. Where the fuck is Joseph? Hello? I don't care if, my man pride tells me that I have to kill this fucking nerd. Kill him? Kill him! Do you want me to die? I've almost died 3 times now. Can we lock in? Hello? Where is Joseph? There are 2 guns in the saloon on the floor, being untouched. If he doesn't come up here and shoot this man, I'm about to lose it. Thank you. Thank you. Every muscle in your arm was screaming with the effort it took to keep him away, shaking and struggling. A force between you swaying the knife. All the bones and tendons in your wrist felt like they were going to snap as Curly still pushed downward, forcing your arm to bend. He didn't want to die. There was nothing he feared more right now than the thought of metal plunging into your heart. Every second felt like it stretched on. Curly's snarling, sharp-toothed grin was gone, now just a steely gaze that stared towards the knife's goal. You weren't strong enough. As you kept putting up the fight, you just got weaker, and his arm got lower and lower with yours in tandem. Can Joseph lock in? Where is that nerd at? Bitch? Where are you? Hello? The blade was so close now you could smell your own blood on it. Joseph! 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 You closed your eyes, your jaw ached from your gritted teeth. Your arm felt like it was on fire. Joseph! With what might be your final breath, you gave one last hard Joseph! One hard push, stretching towards the sky. The edge pressed on your arm. The knife's edge pressed on your arm. You pushed and pushed and pushed against the vile knife. Breath held deep in your lungs. A final prayer. Oh, fucking thank God. Hello. It took you long enough. Damn! Your arm sprang out and your eyes snapped open as Curly's arm jerked. And you shoved it away with all your might. Your ears were ringing. Oh, thank fucking God. Oh. Oh. Oh, hell yeah. 2 gunshots had gone off, and to the immense release of your arm, Curly rolled off you, the bullet holes in his stomach and chest. He tried to stay on his knees, but couldn't stop himself from falling against the wall. The side of his shirt stained with red. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Yeah. You rolled to your side without another moment's hesitation, grabbing at the banister to hastily pull yourself up and get away. Curly was still bewildered, and before he could decide what to do next, you carefully kicked the knife down out of his hand and down the landing. You looked over the banister of the ground floor where the shots came from and saw Joseph, who took way too fucking long to get that fucking gun. One arm propped up on the table, the other pointing Curly's revolver up at you on the balcony. He was panting and out of breath, but a smile lit up his face when your eyes met him. What? Hello? Curly was still against the wall, trying to cover up the holes in his side with his hand, but didn't seem to be trying to get away. He knew he was too hurt. He had the upper hand now. He waved over the balcony for Joseph to come upstairs. He did just that, standing shakily up, and then climbing the stairs, still wary of any tricks Curly might have up his sleeve. Am I dumb? Like, are we not more injured than Joseph is? Just to be clear, we got stabbed in the side. The same way that, I don't remember his name, that guy from fucking The Quarry did. We got stabbed in the side, like a very fatal wound. And he got scratched in the eyeball with some claws. And you're telling me that he was dying up a storm from that? Are you kidding me? Lock in. How are you hurt? Go ahead, tell me. What, your little eye boo-boo too much for you? Look at this. Look at my bleeding side. I'm dying. Hello? Joseph got the revolver pointed at Curly as he walked over to you, passing it to your hand, keeping it level all the while. The metal of the gun was warm in your hand and sticky with Joseph's blood. You held it firm, wrist straight. Fingers on the trigger, Curly's face was no longer angry or focused or anything else you'd ever seen. It was just tired, defeated. He had nothing left, and he knew this was the end. What else was there for him to do? He was at your mercy, and it left a great pit in your stomach, a bottomless well that made you sick to think about. What are you waiting for? End it. Say your prayers then, boss. We know you're going to hell anyways. He grinned at you, weariness in his eyes, but a smugness in his smile. Don't worry, I'll save you a spot down there. Not that you'll need it after all you've done. Damn! You squeezed the trigger slowly and felt the click and pop of the chamber before the deafening bang that left a hole in Curly's head. Get ruined! He slumped against the wall and sat limply, like a child's discarded doll. I guess that's it then. Pretty much. There's still a fight going on outside, but it's not ours. He looked at Joseph, one eye bloody and swollen, and staining his feathers red, and the other wide and staring at Curly on the ground. You holstered the gun and gently touched your hand to Joseph's, brushing his palm. He felt your hand in return, fingers intertwining. Yeah, like, don't piss me off. Like, why the fuck did that take you so long? You're telling me I had the gun aimed at me in the first place. I had time to crawl up the stairs. I had time for him to drag my body down the stairs, punch him in the face, go up the stairs again, get tackled, have a tete-a-tete with the knife before you fucking got the fuck up and shot him? What do you mean? I get in the beginning, I had the gun. I get in the beginning, like, when he was behind the door and he aimed it at me, and we were at, like, the bottom of the stairs, that Joseph did not have a gun. Literally after that, he had the gun. He could have gotten the gun. Huh. We should wait up here till it's over. Safer. I think these here are the rooms that Bartholomew mentioned before. You want to rest up in here? You thought about it for a moment. Your only worry was whether you might get blood on something for when Bartholomew came back. I need a sipping it. The way I sound like I'm dying. Though considering the state of the saloon already, you thought, what the hell? You'll deal with it later, together. Alright, that seems good. Already a bit along the landing, you walked together to the furthest room. Fire! Oh, this is cute. Okay, little room. Twisting the handle, you open the door with some haste, shuffling inside together. You turn and close the door as quietly as you could, still bumping against the frame, the handle creaking as it turned beneath your hand. You waited there, facing the door, giving yourself a moment. Breathing slowly, you feeling the metal in your palm, gripping it tightly. With the door closed, the peppering of gunshots from the outside was much softer. You can imagine them as raindrops against the window. Oh, I don't know about that. That's crazy. Nice room. You let go and turned to look around the room. You agreed. It was nice. It was bright, and the sunlight skimmed through the window, curtains open, fading onto the pillows, a clean bed, a side table, and a dresser. You wandered over to the bed, reaching out to touch, but thinking better of it when feeling the blood sticking between your fingers. A large rug laid on the floor next to the bed, so instead you lowered yourself down to sit on it, leaning back to rest against the bed. You rested your head on it too, at least feeling the softness of the sheets brushing your fur, meeting the curve of your neck. Joseph still stood where he was, looking into the distance. After a few moments, his glassy stare turned down to you, coming back to life. What do we do now? We wait for the fight to die out. Once they realize who's died, they should leave. Hopefully we won't be looked for. Right. He shuffled over to the bed and leaned down, groaning as he hit the rug, sitting against the bed as you did now. Sit here and hope for the best. A good as plan as we've had so far. After we get comfortable, he gingerly lifted a hand up to the slash on his face. He let out a soft, short groan and noises as he tested the cut, checking how bad it was. He pulled his hand away, rubbing his fingers together, inspecting the minimal blood he'd found. Not bleeding too much anymore. Still hurts like hell, though. Ow. I got stabbed in the side? Can we lock in? I just got hello? Am I crazy? You leaned forward a little, trying to look at him too, but I got a harsh reminder as the cut in your side flared up. Yeah. At least we'll have matching scars now. Joseph looked at you, befuddled for a moment, till he realized that you meant the old scar over your own eye. Well, I guess it must be fate. Can't complain about that. You smiled at the thought, too, reaching your hand up to touch the slice in your side. You were lucky. It had gone past the ribs and not through them. If he twisted the knife, it might have been different. Oh, okay. Joseph reached up to his face, still testing his eye. Hey, stop that. You'll make it worse. He put his hand down shyly, like a naughty kid caught in the act. I don't like that. Phrase that differently, thank you. Sorry. It's just hard to ignore. You can get patched up when all the townsfolk come back. I hope. Yeah, I'll be fine. Don't you worry. You tried not to worry, settling yourself down and trying to rest. You stared at the wall of the bedroom, unsure of what to think, unsure of how to feel, tracing the grain of the wood with your eyes. You wonder if the numbness you felt made you a monster. Some strange lacking that left you sitting there, bereft of feeling. How were you supposed to feel with the black lying in the hills of the town, baking in the desert heat? How were you supposed to feel when Curly was just a few steps outside the door, slumped against the wall? You went over and over in your mind, the knife against your arm, the strain as you fought against him. You thought about how close you'd been to giving out, how close that blade had been, the cold metal threatening to spill your heart, and how close Joseph was and ready to kill. And he didn't, for a very long time. You were brought back to your thoughts as he drew your eyes away from the wall, down to your side, down to where Joseph's hand fidgeted, tapping against the floor. The softest of patters against the rug, an unheard rhythm from within. His breathing caught your eye too, the noticeable rise and fall of his chest, the long exhales through his nose. Your eyes continued up to his sullen face, the feathers of his head subtly shaking, nerves bubbling to the surface. You looked back down to his hand and found yourself reaching across, reaching out to take hold. Joseph jolted as you touched him, his hand almost reflexively jerking out of yours. As he came back to the world, he looked down. He relaxed his arm when he saw, squeezing you a little and letting you steal his hand away into your lap. It was trembling as you stroked your thumb over the feathers, squeezing his hand back firmly. Your hands moved around each other, grappling and dancing, exploring each other's fingers and palms. A distraction of each other's fur and feathers, just the two of you. Joseph's arm, being pulled away from him, started to make him lean in, and his body subtly shifting inch by inch closer to you. He started to tilt, and his head tilted too, laying on your shoulder with a comforting heft of weight. You laid your head on his, feather ends tickling you through your fur. He untwisted his arm into a comfier position, keeping it near. You took a hold again, holding back the back of his hand, digging your fingers in between his intertwining. Now you were both still, only the small movements of getting comfortable to disturb you. Hands fidgeting together. We're alive, huh? Did we really do that? Nah, there's no way. When we rolled up on the Clemency and I saw y'all, I thought we had no shot. How did we make it out alive? There was an I can't read anything today. Take me out! Take me out! Help me! Yeah, I don't have much left in me, I fear. So, incredulity, whatever, to his voice that weighed on your heart. He was right. You nearly died. Nearly, but you didn't. You were still alive. You were still here with him. Also, my reading just gets dog shit because I don't think about delivery when I'm tired, which makes me pissed off. Like, when I don't deliver, like, I can hear myself when I record. And when I hear myself delivering lines in a way that I think sounds like shit, I just get mad. I'm just like, ew, why do you sound like that? You sound so bad. Whatever. I don't care about the how or the why. We're still alive, and they aren't. All that matters to me is that I'm still sitting here with you, and that I can feel how warm you are. Joseph sat up at that, his head no longer on your shoulder as he turned to look at you. Gay! Looking into your eyes. He found your hand let go of his, reaching up, wanting to feel him, feel his warmth, the way his stomach moved as he breathed. His heart still beating strong inside him, like it was reaching out to you, quickening as you let your hand lay on his chest. Hey, that's gay! Kiss! Oh, wait, hold on. Kiss! I need it to sound like it's further away. You felt your own heartbeat thrumming louder now, like you just had minutes ago. Not out of fear this time, not that kind, as you reached up past his shoulder. He closed his eyes as your hand rubbed gently up his neck, feathers fluffing, stroking up till it cupped his face. The feathers of his face were soft, intermingled with the dust and dirt, the specks of dried blood that you had felt beneath your hand. He opened his eyes again, those big honey gold and brown rings that started to flicker onto your features, studying you. Looking at you in a way you don't think you ever have been before. He cleared his throat a little, dry and unsure of his words, but wanting to say them all the same. Did I ever tell you how handsome you are? Get away from me, you're cute. They're so cutie. You couldn't help your little snort as you laughed, turning your face away, giggling over the nervous trip of his words. No, I don't think you did. Oh, come on, Kay. Looking back at him, it felt like your faces were closer. Your laughter subsided. Cheeks starting to grow warm as the sweetness of your words trickled into your thoughts, like honey. You found yourself leaning in, slowly, as did he, your eyes glancing at each other's mouths. Kiss! Oh, sorry. Kiss! The stretch of tension in your back as you head... I didn't say give up. You know what? Yeah, fuck you. No one's getting to read their kiss. Get fucked. I'm done. I'm tapping out. I cannot do it. I can't do it anymore. Dude, I was crazy. Also, don't look at that. You would be like, oh my god, Kay, why do you keep recording late? I'm stupid. That's why. Because I'm dumb. I had a whole plan, guys. I had a whole plan. My whole plan was literally to record. I mean, also, though, I was going to come home at, like, 5 or 6 and record all my videos in one go. I didn't do that. Didn't start recording until 9. I don't think that's true. No, I didn't start recording until 10. This is the first video that I was recording. And I'm like, I'm tired. I can't read anymore. I'm going to go to bed. Which is what I'm going to do. I'm tired. So I hope you had so much fun. Maybe as much fun as I had. Definitely more. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.